Back up, back up, back up. Hey man, back up, back up, back up. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Bangarang Industries. And what are you doing to ensure the safety of your family outside of the home? With that being said, today's video is going to be over CCW considerations as well as what I carry and why. If you follow me long enough, you'll know over the years I've ran a few different handguns, majority of those being Glocks and custom Glocks. However, I did run a 365 and a SIG 320. Now, I started out with a G19, it's just what I carried. And then my thought process was, this is the middle ground of guns, but it's a little bit too big for me right now for what I'm wanting, and I want something more compact. The 365 XL was a good option because it still held 12+1 capacity, as well as being a more compact size as well as width. However, regardless of skill set or anything like that, I felt there was just this personal niche that I had when shooting the 365, even if, I was shooting it really well. However, it just felt like I didn't have enough gun in my hand if I ever did need to use it. So I opted to get the SIG 320, which was a full-size gun that 17 rounds plus one, so 18, a little bit more capacity. And I carried that for about a year. And then it got too much. I wanted to find that middle ground again. Now, just to elaborate a little more on what I meant by that is smaller guns traditionally are going to be harsher in recoil and a little bit harder to shoot overall unless you're a really, really good shooter. And that just is due to the size and less barrel length. I'm not going to go into much of that, but that is one of the reasons that I opted to go back to a mid-sized gun, is because I knew that with a mid-sized gun, I was capable of effectively putting rounds down range quicker and more efficiently. The MR920 has been really great so far. I don't really have any complaints. As you can see, it comes optics cut, and I'm not running a red dot. There's a few reasons why, just personal reasons. Now, there's really three main benefits to red dots. First one being if you have any visual impairments, it could help you there. Number two being it allows you to have a more open field of view through the reticle. It's not your like iron sights obstruct your field of view. Also, traditionally, red dots are much more faster to acquire than iron sights. One last thing to consider if you are going to run a red dot, you have to understand that there is going to be a learning curve when you get it. And it's important that you learn and train with it because other people's lives may depend on you. So you may notice I don't have a weapons light on here. It's just a personal preference. I prefer an external light, something handheld, or something even as simple as my iPhone. And the reasons being for that is my lifestyle does not entail me being out on the streets at night. So if I need my flashlight, it's normally around people or inside of a building or something of that nature, and I can't really pull my handgun out and use the weapons light. It's probably gonna freak some people out. If your lifestyle, entails you working at night a lot or traveling at night a lot, then a weapons light may be a consideration for you. Round count. How many rounds should you be able to fit inside of your magazine, and how many magazines should you be carrying? It's a big one. For me personally, I carry two 15-round magazines. However, I've never heard anybody complain about having too much ammo in a gunfight. I will say this. It's not about how much ammo you are carrying as a whole. It's about what you're doing with those rounds. So if you train and you're proficient and effective with your firearm, you should be able to end the gunfight relatively quickly. Leads me into what type of rounds should you be carrying inside of your CCW. Now, you'll see a lot of people talk about ballistics. There is a science behind ballistics, but a lot of it's just theory, okay? And what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to do your own research and make your own personal decision based on what you feel is best for you, okay? What I feel is best for me, what works with my lifestyle, what I do is G9 Defense. These are their external hollow points. These are solid copper projectiles in the shape of a propeller. And these are some hot plus P rounds. I think they're traveling 1,520 feet per second. So pretty gnarly little round. The holster that I run is manufactured by Black Art. Now, they're not a sponsorship, they're just a really good company. This wing that you see here, since I'm a skinnier guy, helps me with printing. And as you can see, I'm running the sidecar for a spare magazine. Another thing to consider is if you are a smaller guy like me, you might want to get or separate these two pieces so that you can individually place them among your body. I like keeping it in one solid piece, that way everything's together and I can just grab it and go. Being a minimalist when it comes to CCW doesn't just stop at the firearm or the knife or all the cool stuff. Take into consideration your wallet, take into consideration your cell phone, take into consideration everything that you plan on carrying on your body on a day-to-day basis. As you can see, I'm running a real minimal Ridge style wallet. It's got a money clip, some bungees, some plates on either side, and it gets the job done. Some people you see carry a gun, some people you see just carry a knife, and all I'll say to that is to each their own. However, I recommend that you carry both, and I personally do carry both. This is the Combatant made by TKL Knives. Absolutely amazing knife. The steel is great. I've only sharpened it a couple times and it stays razor sharp. To those of you that just carry a gun and don't carry a knife, I will say this. You are more likely to use this on a daily basis than your firearm. Just the truth of the matter. Not only that, as we've seen in the past couple years on the rise, knives can be used in self-defense. As you evolve in your training and as a protector as a whole, you notice your gear will start to shift and change. Don't be afraid to get out there and test different types, companies, and styles and figure out what works best for you. Regardless of what you're running, be sure to train with it and become proficient with it. Have a great day and God bless.